Welcome in everyone. Something a little different, but something I really wanted to try my hand at. Theory crafting. Today, we're going to be looking at a game called Thin Threads. I played it on Steam recently, and once the jump scares wore off, I looked back at it and thought to myself, what the hell just happened? As an obvious heads up, this will have some spoilers, so you have been warned. With all that out of the way, let's dive into Thin Threads. So, Thin Threads is a game following three characters: the mother, the father, and Jim, the young boy. We start the game with the father pushing a trolley, or shopping cart if you're on the other side of the water, filled with what appears to be junk, an old bottle, some cans, etc., which we are taking to our home by the looks of it. When we get there, it is clear the family is struggling financially. The place is lit by candles, there seems to be no electricity, there are no doors, just curtains in the entrances to the bedroom and bathroom, in which there is no sink, just a bucket and a toilet bowl. The family all shares one bedroom with two mattresses on the floor. There is a moment where the father is talking to himself, saying he earned $3, which is enough for sardines, just to hammer it home how severe the struggle is in this household. Before the game starts for real, we fade out of him apologising to his family for the life they live. We are now viewing the game from Jim's viewpoint, being told to tidy up our toys for breakfast. There is likely some symbolism with the toys here that we can touch on later, but for now, we go outside, have breakfast, and following another conversation with the parents, we pack up our toys and head to bed, which is where things get weird. We wake up with sleep paralysis, and our parents aren't in the room. All we can do is look around, calling for our mother and crying. The next time we see her, well, see for yourselves. Yeah, so apparently our mother has transformed into something inhuman. Glowing yellow eyes, teleporting around the bedroom, crawling along the ceiling, all the telltale signs of a horrendous night. After all of this happens, we wake up to find our mother staring out of the window. Well, staring into a curtain that is blocking the window, but a golden light can be seen behind the curtain. She clearly isn't herself. She sends us on a mission to find her missing comb, while she sits and stares at a TV showing a black screen. Failing to find the comb, we walk to the living room hearing noises coming from the bathroom, and as we get closer, our possessed mother follows us from the bathroom to the bedroom. At which point, the scene flickers, and the mother is staring at us between the curtain as we huddle in fear on the bedroom floor. We're interrupted by our father coming home, banging on the door. We go to the living room to find nothing. There's a banging sound coming from the closet. As we walk in, the door slams shut behind us, locking us in with apparently, well, again, nothing. As we look around, there are cobwebs in the corner of the room that seem to be growing until eventually our possessed mother gives us a double jump scare and the screen goes black, fading out to a title card entitled Yesterday. We open up to the mother having a discussion with the father while looking at a painting of the Last Supper, a link to the religious element involved in all of this, but we'll get to that shortly. After a discussion with the father about how she can't bear to live like this anymore, we pick up a knife from the kitchen and proceed to, well, end the family line entirely, which ends the game and leaves us wondering what the hell happened in this house. So, we'll start with the obvious theme of the game, which is trying to survive while enduring crippling financial troubles. I think the game does a good job of setting the tone of the family, from the father leaving early, coming home late, and only just making enough for the family to survive, to the mother doing her best to hide their problems from the child, and of course Jim, who either knows what is going on and has the emotional maturity to continue to act happy so as not to give away how he truly feels, or he truly is just unaware. Ignorance is bliss, as they say. With all that being said, whatever happened over the course of the 48 hours or so we are with the family, it's pretty clear the root cause is their financial status. So there isn't masses to unpack there, unlike the supernatural element of the game. So, let's try and get into some little things that may have gone unnoticed throughout the game and how they could link to whatever the heck happened. One of the things I noticed were the paintings of Jesus in the kitchen and the painting of the Last Supper in the living room, which hits home when you realise you first see it at their actual Last Supper. I feel like the beginning and end of the game are set in the real world, from the father and mother's perspective. What we see is just simply the day before and the day of the incident. I'll come back to Jim's perspective after I cover a few more things in the game. Something else I noticed were the toys in Jim's room. At first glance, nothing seems off about the toys, but if you delve into symbology and all of that stuff, looking at the things that were about to happen and using the Christian depiction of certain animals, 2 toys I noticed were that of a crow/raven and a goat or ram. It would be very easy to spend way too much time talking about what these 2 animals represent, so I'm going to use the ones I feel link best to this case. Feel free to shout at me in the comments if I miss something or you think there is a better link to what is going on. So, rams and goats are often found to represent the devil or demons in a lot of media, dating back to early Christianity. They have also been linked to witchcraft, along with crows and ravens. Commonly, they're the kind of animal a witch or wizard would transform into. That being said, there isn't any confirmed link to any of these things within the game. I just figured it might be an Easter egg of some kind. Moving on, we have cobwebs forming all over the house. The closer Jim is to danger, the larger they appear to be. There is something to be said about the link between the spiderwebs and Jim's mother's movement. Hanging from the ceiling, sitting still in dark corners of the rooms, waiting to pounce. This really hits home in the final scene of Jim's nightmare, when he finally gets caught in her web in the closet. All hope is lost and she finally has him. Interestingly, the biblical context for spider/cobweb symbolizes the frailty of life, its losses and human mortality, all of which are pretty much covered in the duration of this game. This might not have been an intentional add-in by the devs, but if it was a very well hidden touch. Another interesting little thing I noticed was that at the end, when the mother makes her decision, the knife she uses is in the kitchen, in front of the window that floods the room with a golden light. Maybe, in her mind, this was the guiding light to tell her this was the correct decision. Or this was simply the light at the end of the tunnel, as her mind was made up and there was no turning back. So, pretty much everything I noticed has been covered. What does this mean for Jim's experience? As the game tells us, what Jim went through was after the incident. It is possible that what we are seeing, as we are in control of Jim, is some kind of afterlife. Religiously speaking, limbo is a place where unbaptized babies are said to go if they pass away. Based on the circumstances, Jim may not have been baptized, possibly due to the financial constraints on the family. This to me makes the most sense, but on the other side, it could be some kind of purgatory. Now I know what you're thinking, what on earth could young Jim have done to warrant being thrown into purgatory after he was brutally ended by his own mother? Well, there is the idea of original sin, which we are all born with. I don't think this is what is going on, but I feel for consistency I should include it just in case. Something else I find really interesting is that during the nightmare time, Jim never once sees his father. The reason for this is most likely because he was already dead before Jim's mother got to him, so the noises he hears, the crying and the screaming, could have been his parents, and his subconscious mind created the nightmare scenario. Which begs the question, how did he know it was his mother that killed them? Well, either this is part of his afterlife, or, more disturbingly, the last thing he saw before he died was his mother standing over him with a knife. Well, that covers everything I noticed in the game. If I miss anything, let me know in the comments. Also, if you actually played this game or you've seen my playthrough of it, what are your thoughts? Let me know if there's another game like this we should play and or theorycraft. But if you've made it this far, thank you for bearing with my first theory crafting video. It's the first time I've done anything like this. This is all new to me. The editing, the recording, it's all brand new. Hopefully we can keep on going, improving, making the most of it. But until next time, everyone, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next one.